Marcus Freeman sat before the microphones with the calm posture of someone accustomed to scrutiny, but the substance of his words revealed a coach deeply engaged in self-reflection, accountability, and purpose as Notre Dame prepared for its matchup with California. Every answer he gave, whether rooted in football, faith, or leadership, traced back to a consistent theme: clarity, honesty, and responsibility, both to the program he leads and the people within it. At Notre Dame, nothing exists in isolation, and Freeman understands better than most that the job extends far beyond Saturdays. When Freeman spoke about his conversion to Catholicism, his tone shifted subtly, measured and deliberate, reflecting how personal the decision was to him and his family. He made it clear that it was not something driven by optics or obligation, but rather a private journey shaped by belief and family values. He acknowledged the reality that privacy is difficult when you are the head coach at Notre Dame, yet emphasized that this was a decision confirmed quietly, without spectacle, and rooted in something deeply personal. Even as he refrained from specifics, noting only that it occurred in September, the sincerity of his words underscored the respect he holds for the institution's spiritual foundation and the responsibility that comes with representing it. That sense of openness carried into his approach with the media, where Freeman explained his decision to make coordinators more available. He recognized the balance between transparency and practicality, understanding that no amount of access would ever fully satisfy curiosity, but believing strongly that increased communication benefits everyone involved. Giving coordinators the opportunity to speak allows for a fuller picture of the program, one that reflects collaboration rather than hierarchy. For Freeman, it was not about controlling the narrative, but about sharing it, trusting his staff to articulate their vision and challenges while helping the outside world better understand the daily work happening inside the GUG. The conversation naturally drifted toward Notre Dame's history, and Freeman's face brightened when the topic of Manti returning to campus arose. Freeman spoke not with nostalgia alone, but with intention. He values the presence of former greats not as ceremonial figures, but as living examples of what it means to endure, to grow, and to carry the program's legacy forward. Teo's return was not about speeches or fanfare, it was about connection. Freeman wanted his players to meet someone who had walked the same paths, felt the same pressures, and emerged on the other side, shaped by the experience. That kind of authenticity, he believes, resonates far more deeply than any motivational slogan. On the field, Freeman's focus sharpened as he addressed Jarrett Patterson's week of practice. The center, a pillar of Notre Dame's offensive line, had battled through physical challenges, and Freeman did not pretend that Patterson was at full strength. Instead, he praised his resilience, leadership, and competitiveness, describing him as a warrior who gave everything he had in the previous game and followed it with an outstanding week of preparation. Freeman's confidence in Patterson wasn't rooted in health percentages, but in trust that the veteran understood the demands of the moment and would rise to meet them. Preparation, Freeman emphasized, had entered its most critical phase. Game plans were set, and the margin for confusion had vanished. What mattered now was precision. Freeman spoke about condensing packages, eliminating gray areas, and ensuring that every player understood not just what was being asked of them, but why. He stressed that execution is born from clarity, and clarity is the responsibility of the coaching staff. If players are uncertain, that is a failure of communication, not effort. His message was clear: simplicity and understanding are the foundation of performance, especially against an opponent that demands discipline. California's defense, Freeman noted, presented exactly that kind of challenge. He detailed their ability to shift fronts, alternating between 3- and 4-man looks, and highlighted the presence of massive nose guard Ricky Correa, whose size and power demand respect on every snap. Freeman also pointed to linebacker Jackson Sermon, the son of defensive coordinator Peter Sermon, describing him as the quarterback of the defense, a player who embodies the scheme and its expectations. Freeman's respect for Cal's defensive unit was evident, not as coach speak, but as recognition of the reality Notre Dame would face on Saturday. Pressure, of course, is inseparable from Notre Dame football, but Freeman made it clear that external noise is not where his focus lies. He spoke candidly about the temptation to listen to opinions that swirl around the program, and how doing so only adds unnecessary weight. Instead, he has directed his team inward, toward the specific actions that determine outcomes. For Freeman, pressure should come from standards, not headlines. The message to his players was simple: don't play for him, don't play for critics, play to execute the things that matter. When preparation is honest and thorough, the rest fades away. That philosophy has guided Notre Dame's self-evaluation after the first 2 games. Freeman rejected the idea that outcomes alone should dictate analysis. Wins and losses can obscure truths, he said, masking execution issues that eventually surface against different opponents. Facing new competition forces clarity, revealing weaknesses that practice alone cannot always expose. Freeman stressed the importance of taking a brutally honest look at each play, each position, regardless of result. A successful play can still include failure, and ignoring that reality only delays improvement. He described a process rooted in accountability, where mistakes are addressed immediately, even if it means stopping practice or removing elements from the scheme altogether. Nothing, Freeman said, should be sacred if it prevents players from executing with confidence. Coaching better, simplifying responsibilities, or changing concepts are all acceptable solutions if they lead to clarity. The ultimate goal is to ensure that every player steps onto the field knowing exactly what is expected of them, free from confusion and hesitation. That mindset extended to discussions about fourth-quarter struggles, a topic Freeman acknowledged can easily dominate narratives. While late-game execution matters, he cautioned against isolating those moments from the broader context. Games are shaped by countless plays across 4 quarters, and early mistakes can carry consequences just as heavy as late ones. Freeman emphasized that analytics and GPS data cannot fully explain outcomes. Only detailed play-by-play evaluation can. The focus, he reiterated, must remain on correcting execution throughout the game, not just at its conclusion. Freeman drew parallels between Notre Dame's current recalibration on defense and a similar moment in his past at Cincinnati. He recalled a season when emotions and results initially masked deeper issues, and how true progress only began when the staff stripped away outcomes and examined fundamentals with objectivity. That experience informed his approach now. Emotionless evaluation, he said, is not cold or detached, but necessary. It allows coaches to enhance what works, discard what doesn't, and adapt without ego. He challenged the notion of blaming players for mistakes, urging his staff instead to ask why something went wrong and what could be done to prevent it. If a player fails to execute, the responsibility lies in teaching, clarity, and design. Freeman's insistence on that principle reflects his broader leadership philosophy. Success is shared, and so is failure. Coaches must own their role in both. As Freeman spoke, it became clear that this was not a coach searching for excuses, nor one overwhelmed by expectations. Instead, he projected steadiness, conviction, and an unwavering belief in process. He understands the magnitude of Notre Dame, the voices that surround it, and the impatience that comes with tradition. But his response to that pressure is not defensiveness or defiance. It is work, meticulous, honest, and relentless. In the end, Freeman's words painted a picture of a program in motion, grounded in self-awareness and driven by a desire to improve in tangible ways. Faith, transparency, accountability, and preparation are not separate pillars in his mind. They are interconnected. As Notre Dame prepared to face California, Freeman made it clear that success would come not from noise or narrative, but from clarity of purpose and precision of execution. At a place where everything is magnified, he continues to preach a simple truth: control what matters, correct what doesn't, and let the rest take care of itself.